I've known René for more than 60 years. We were classmates at Columbia together. He was best man at my wedding. So we've been through a lot.
René has one of the biggest hearts I know.
Did I say sensitive?
A fun-loving person.
Very generous person.
A man with a huge heart.
He's tall.
He's a pain in the neck, but that's because he's my brother.
I think his mother and father dramatically affected his life. They were survivors of the Holocaust. They escaped the Nazi persecution of Europe and came to America to make a better life.
We were born in Antwerp, Belgium. Both our parents were born in Poland.
Like so many heroic stories of those who survived, they came here with nothing and they built a life. They built a family, they built a life.
René and I have a lot in common. We're both Holocaust survivors. We both came here as young children to the United States. And so when he didn't know much about Selfhelp, and I introduced him to Selfhelp, told him about it, that's how René and Selfhelp joined.
And he wants to make sure that younger generations understand what some people have gone through during this terrible time, so hopefully it will never ever happen again.
When I first learned about René and learned about the opportunity that he was offering, I got really excited because I wanted my kids to learn about the Holocaust.
We named the class Introduction to the Holocaust. It's an elective in our school, and I couldn't be happier. The conversations we're having, my students are 9th through 12th grade, and the things they're coming up with are phenomenal.
I feel like it's life-changing because it's like you think about how you lived, in your past years and how we're living in society now, and it makes you wonder, like, what if I was living in this society?
People forget that it could have just as easily been you. It could have just as easily been you and your family to be in that exact situation.
And I hope René can see the change and the impact that it's causing by providing us with the resources to be able to provide our students with elective.
René is a very generous person. He's been fortunate in his life as a result of investments in business to develop some resources, and he wants to share those resources with the world.
I was born and raised in the southeast section of the Bronx, specifically in a neighborhood known as Walton Avenue. And I would really summarize my life as a set of system failures that produced, unfortunate life outcomes. For me, it was, serving 6 years in state prison. I came home, I enrolled in community college, and after a year at community college, I applied and was accepted to the School of General Studies at Columbia University. The dean reached out and she said that, there was someone who was interested in supporting formerly incarcerated students with a scholarship. What Mr. Plessner was able to do is really, empower me to, feel like I belong, to feel like, I deserve to be where I'm at, and I work hard to keep my grades up. I think after me sharing like my aspirations in my career, I think that, he wanted to help me get to that point where I could be able to help other people in the same way that he helped me.
My son Daniel had a very typical childhood until he was 12, when one of 5 brain aneurysms ruptured in his head while he was playing basketball. He was in a coma for 30 days, in the hospital for almost a year, and basically we were told that he would not have a meaningful life. And our family came together, and we constantly were striving to say, okay, what is Daniel good at? And we realized he connected with music. And so we looked online, music and disabilities, we couldn't find anything. And so we said, why don't we start it? And it's just grown over the years. Now, René has always had an interest in our family. He knew Daniel before his injury. He visited Daniel in the hospital and rehab after his injury. And he was always, wondering what was going to happen to Daniel. René is intimately involved with the foundation. I speak to him 2-3 times a week. Sometimes it's about Daniel's Music Foundation. Sometimes it's sports trivia.
Mr. Plessner has this thing where everyone he meets has to go to a Nets game.
Spots in the East. Oh, Durant meets Markkanen.
Well, the last few years, something changed in both of our lives. I don't know how exactly it happened, but René started to go to some Nets games and had me join him. I'm a boy from the Bronx, he's a boy from Manhattan, and here we are going to Barclays Center.
And so, my friends, inhale the future, exhale the past, live for today. and as best you can, dance.
He believes in uplifting. He believes in making people smile and making people happy.
I would say that Mr. Plessner is helping people's dreams come true. His generosity is allowing people to dig deep within inside of themselves and pull out their inner potential to achieve greatness.
He sets the standard, he sets the example, and people hear the story of his life and his generosity. I think they feel that they've got to do more in their own way.
On behalf of the entire Self-Help board and staff and all the clients we serve, we want to congratulate you, René, on this award. We're so pleased that we're giving it to you because we can't think of anyone else who would deserve it more.